Good morning, Year Ones. It's Wonderful Wednesday. We're going to continue to learn about time today. By the end of today, I'd hope you are more confident with what an analog clock is, how it's used and why it's used, and be able to tell the time to the hour using your analog clock. Now, you will need your clock today that you made in Monday's session, so please make sure it's ready for you to use during this lesson. Let's start by looking at the Enfocus task. Have a look at the clock in the picture. What time does it show? Talk to an adult, talk to an older brother or sister about what time you think that clock shows. Think about why we have the red hand and the blue hand. And maybe use some of the clues in the picture, thinking about what the girl might be doing. Is she on her way out somewhere, or is she on her way back somewhere? Pause the video to have a chat. Now, my friend looked at that clock and said it's 12 o'clock. Is my friend correct? Or is he incorrect? How do we know? Talk to the person next to you. And my friend, you can obviously see, was confused because there's one hand pointing to the 12 and one hand pointing to the 8. He must have mixed up the two hands of the clock. Let's look at the next slide and learn how we tell the time to o'clock. Now, if you look at this clock in our Let's Learn, you can see that the red arrow represents the minute hand. This is the long hand. The blue arrow represents the hour hand, and this is shorter. You can see that the red minute hand is pointing to number 12. Whenever the minute hand points to number 12, it is always an o'clock time. The blue hand is pointing to the number 8. This is the hour hand. And when the small blue hand points to a number exactly, it shows us it is that time on the clock. So this clock shows the time 8 o'clock. Can you say that to your adult? However, if we look at the clock with no picture attached, can we tell if it is morning, afternoon, evening or night just from looking at that clock? Or do we need to know some more information? Let's look back at the original picture. The girl was going out somewhere. She's got a bag in her hand. I wonder how many of you decided that she might be on her way to school at 8 o'clock in the morning. I wonder how many of you go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning. We use the words morning, afternoon and evening to help us describe what time of day it is. Maybe you can talk to your adult about what kind of things you do in the morning. What do you do in the afternoon, and what do you do in the evenings on different days of the week? We're now going to have a go at journaling what we've learned about how to tell the time to o'clock. I've attached this document onto the website, so should you want to print this page out, you can. Otherwise, just completing the written times in your book will be sufficient. You've been given some clocks to have a look at. Some of them tell you the time, and some of them, 3 of them in fact, have a blank box. Look carefully at the time. Where is the red hour hand point? Where's the blue hour hand pointing? Where's the red minute hand pointing? Can you tell your adult what time it is? Record this on your journal. I've then given you a picture of the red arrow and the blue arrow. Can you remind me and remind yourself by writing down which one is the hour hand and which one is the minute hand? Can you then complete the statement? When the minute hand points to the and the hour hand points to the time is o'clock. Now it's time to play a game. You need a partner and your clock that you made on Monday. Using your clock, I want you to move the hands to make a time. Make sure it's an o'clock time. Can your partner tell you the time that you've made? Talk about some of the activities you might do at that time, during the school week, or even at the weekend. Now get your partner to make you a time and repeat. Keep practicing making lots of o'clock times so you become more confident with telling the time to o'clock. Now let's have a look at these guided practice questions. You've got 4 pictures, and those pictures are going to give you a clue as to maybe what the time is and when you might do something during the day. The first picture shows a little boy getting out of bed, and on the clock we can clearly see it is 8 o'clock. And using the clues in the pictures, we can see it's probably the morning because he looks like he's just about to get out of bed, and I can see that the sun has already risen out of his window. What's the time of the clock and the picture where the children are at the beach? What's the time on the clock, and using the picture to help you, of the little boy in a restaurant or a cafe? And what's the time on the clock of the little boy walking back from the beach? Talk to your adult and pause the video if you want to discuss more. For your independent learning today, you've got 3 questions. Again, all of these worksheets are now attached to the website for you to access if you want to print them off. Otherwise, have a go at drawing them or talk through them with your adult. Question 1. Match the clock face to the written time. Look carefully at those hands on the clock. Even though they're not red and blue, you can see that they are 2 different colours of grey to help you. Question number 2. Write the time shown on each clock. One has already been done for you. I can see in the example that the minute hand is pointing at the 12, which means it's an o'clock time, and the hour hand is pointing at the 1. This clock shows 1 o'clock. Can you complete the other times? Question 3. The pictures show what Holly does during the holidays when she's not at school. Write the time shown on each clock. You've got question A, question B, question C, and question D. I've got 2 extra challenges should you wish to challenge yourself or complete some extra learning, and these questions really rely upon your reasoning and your explanation as to how you know somebody is right or somebody is wrong. So talk to your adult, and if you want to, write it down using your English to explain to me and show me how you know what you know. There's a clock, and Amir says the time is 3 o'clock. Can you spot Amir's mistake? Can you explain why he is wrong and what mistake he's made? Extra challenge 2. Alex says, when it is 11 o'clock, both of the hands point at 11. So she means the minute hand and the hour hand both point at 11. Is Alex correct? Explain your reasoning. That's it for today, Year 1. Again, I can't wait to see any responses that you email to the Key Stage 1 address, and I look forward to moving on to telling the time to past on Friday. Have a good day.